All right, today we are going to complete our first how to log in to the IllinoisAgEd.org website. Now, when we create this login information or our account, this is the account that we're going to be utilizing for ILAG careers. We're going to have some different curriculum items that will be based off of that website. We'll also be able to then generate our AET login information. And the AET information, we are going to create journal entries to record the hours and experience we're gaining with animals in the classroom. Also, for those of us that are volunteering or shadowing or working in an agricultural industry, we will be able to record that as well. And you've also heard about the supervised ag experiences. So if you have other projects that you also want to do, we would record that information in the AET. Also, our FFA chapter meetings and plan for our chapter will be in the AET. But before we can go here, we need to first go to the student roster access code. So I'm going to click here. And again, this is going to generate all of those different login pieces. My access code is going to be Wilco Vet, so capital WILCO, capital VET. So again, Wilco Vet is my access code. I click next. It's going to ask for my first name and my last name, date of birth, and zip code. Now, it's super important that I capitalize the first letter of my first name, because what's going to happen is we are going to then use this first letter of my first name for my username, as well as the last letter or my full last name is going to be used for my login. So I need to make sure again that I capitalize both my first and my last name. So just capitalize that first letter and capitalize the first letter of my first name, capitalize the first letter of my last name. And then my date of birth. And of course, I was not born in August 1st of 2000, but we can utilize that information there anyway. So then I click next. Now it's already found me in the system, so I'm going to click on that because it has found me. I've done this before, but if you've never done this with before, which is going to be most of you, and it has a name up there, you're going to hit none of the choices above are me because none of the choices are going to be. But if you have a common last name or a common first name, then make sure that you double check and you click that. None of the choices above are you. I'm going to click here though because it is me. I already know this. All right, so first name, last name, again, I ensure that the capital letter, the first letter is capitalized for both my first name and the first letter is capitalized for my last name. Member type, I am going to be an Ag Ed only member, so you don't have to decide quite yet if you want to join FFA. It is highly encouraged, and you guys have already done your research and seen all the cool information that's out there for you for FFA and the scholarship opportunities. But right now I'm just going to choose Ag Ed only, and you can always change your mind at a later date. I confirm that my address is correct, so this is an updated mailing address for you. All that information is good. My resident type, I do live in a suburb, so I have a population of at least 10,000 to 50,000 people in my town. Most of you are going to be in that suburban category. Now, Wilmington, Reed, Custer, I'm not sure about your population. You may be a small town, but just check with what your population is of the city. Graduation year, I'm going to graduate this coming school year in 2021. My email address, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that's the correct email. I actually prefer, so when you guys are trying to get a hold of me, I prefer to use my Wilco email address, which is, or the Gmail address, which is that at wilcoacc.org. And you're going to hear me reference that Wilco ACC account quite a bit. So I prefer that email address. Gender, you can choose to withhold if you'd like. Choose your ethnicity. And then your race, again, you can withhold that information. I would just choose whichever one you most identify with. If you identify for both of your races or you have multiple races, you can select that 2 or more. If you identify with more than or more so with one of your races versus the other, you can select just a specific one, or you can withhold that information. It's completely up to you. And then go ahead and put in your date of birth. See, if I do the typical year, it automatically changes that. All right, then you're going to be brought to this course page. Now, it does give you an option of veterinary technology. No, 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 this is not a veterinary technology course, but unfortunately, the system has it as such. You will never hear me talk about our course being a vet tech course. We are a veterinary assisting course. All right, so you guys are learning just the basics of animal care in this course. Plainfield and Valley View students, if you're on your schedule, it's going to be periods 1, 2, and 3, I believe. That means that you're in period 1. If it's 4, 5, and 6, you're looking at period 2. And then all of Lockport students, Lockport, you guys are all period 3. Wilmington, Reed, Custer, you guys are also period 3, but Valley View, Plainfield, you just have to look at what periods you are because you're 3 blocks out of the day. So 1, 2, and 3 is easy. It's period 1. I think it's like 4, 5, and 6 is going to be period 2, and then if you have like a 7, 8, or 6, 7, I'm not sure, Valley View, where it's whatever your last periods are, then you're in session 3. Okay, so there you have it for that. I'm going to go ahead and pretend I am a Lamont student, and Lamont, you guys are in period 2. So I'm going to add that course right there. It has me in there, and then I'm going to save and continue, and I have success. So once I've got this, I'm going to log out here. I'm going to give Ms. Leslie about 24 hours. I have to select and approve all of you, and then you will be able to get your AET login generated. And we're going to go ahead and look at how to log into the AET next.